So we're joined today as well by Katrina Pierce from the FSB, who has very kindly joined us today to talk about some of the announcements that were made and just give us a bit of an overview about how that will affect us and give us an update. So over to you, Katrina.
Thanks, Samantha. Thanks very much, and hello to everyone. Thank you for having me today. I'm sure by now you're all utterly fatigued by the various schemes you've got to apply for, things you've got to administrate, funding you've got to apply for. Strap in, because there is some more coming, but there is some good stuff. So yesterday afternoon, you'll have no doubt seen the Chancellor of the Exchequer announced his plan for jobs. This is a massive raft of schemes, of employment schemes, funding, for everything from apprenticeships through to traineeships, but also there's some really good stuff in there for the hospitality and tourism sector, which I'd like to just take you through the headlines of today. And obviously at the moment this information is less than 24 hours old, so it is headline stuff, but I've had some time to go sort of look under the bonnet of some of this so far, so hopefully I can give you a little bit more information, and I'm sure Ms. Lincoln will keep you updated as things go forward as well. So first of all, one of the big major headlines of the plan yesterday was changes to the job retention scheme. So that's the furlough scheme that no doubt many of you have taken advantage of to keep your staff employed while you've had to close. So we've already passed a number of milestones for the job retention scheme. There are more to come. Now, there are 9 million people using the scheme at the minute and 1 million employers, not in Lincolnshire, of course, across the UK, but a good proportion of Lincolnshire's businesses have been using this. It's really important that we know the devil in the detail here. So we've already passed two of the first milestones. First one was 30th of June. You needed to make sure that if you'd not previously furloughed a member of staff, and you thought you were going to need to claim for them at some point before the scheme winds down, that you'd registered them. Then 1st of July came in, and that was the time that you could start to flexibly furlough your staff to bring them back gradually while you're taking a long run up towards getting fully operational. So that was something we campaigned very hard for on behalf of small businesses. So hopefully many of you are taking advantage of that. Now, on the 1st of August, it'll change again. This is where the government starts to step back from their financial contributions, but albeit gradually and in quite a small way, to be honest. So from the 1st of August, if you're using the scheme, you'll need to start paying national insurance and pension contributions to any furlough claims that you're making. That might sound really complicated. Given that it's a HMRC portal and all of the troubles I'm sure everyone is used to having with them, they have made this portal very, very user-friendly. And I believe there's going to be, if it's not already there, a calculator system on there to help you work out what those NI contributions should be and the pension contributions. So it should be fairly easily. And that is a very small contribution to the actual furlough payment. Government will still pay 80% of wages in August. 1st of September changes again. You will then need to start paying 10% towards their furlough payment, and the government will wind theirs down slightly to 70%. 1st of October changes again. Government step down to 60%. You'll be expected to pay 20%. And then on the 31st of October, scheme ends completely. So as of 1st of November, the scheme will not exist anymore. But there is some silver lining here. What was announced yesterday in the plan for jobs was for every retained employee that is still employed by you that you've brought back from furlough, if they're still employed in a viable job on the 31st of January 2021, you'll be able to claim a £1,000 bonus for every single one of those employees. So they must have been on furlough at some point in 2020. There are some other caveats which I'll go through in a moment, but essentially if you were planning to bring those people back anyway into viable jobs and you were able to pay them, this is essentially kind of free money. So make sure you apply for this when it's open in January. So there's some caveats inevitably. For each of those employees, they must have been on furlough at some stage in 2020. They must be earning, on average, a minimum of £520 per month between the end of the job retention scheme on the 31st of October and the day that this needs to go live on the 31st of January. That £520 is the lower earnings limit of the job retention scheme of the furlough payment, so that seems quite fair. They must have been on furlough in 2020, we've covered that bit. And then you'll apply from the 31st of January, again via the HMRC portal, and you'll be paid in February. So this is a really, really quick payout system. And if say for anyone that you was planning to bring back anyway, this is essentially £1,000 of free money per employee. So I really would encourage you to keep your eyes out for that. Make sure you apply on time and get that money in. That could give you a really strong start to 2021, which Lord knows we all need. The government have pledged to produce full guidance and information on this, how you'll apply, when all the deadlines will come about by the end of July. So do keep your eyes out for that. But I'm sure Visit Lincoln will keep you updated in their newsletters. So that's a really strong message for that. Although the scheme is winding down, inevitably it had to. At the moment, the job retention scheme is costing the nation as much as the NHS is to run for an entire year. So it's not a sustainable way of working, and most people don't want to be on furlough. They want to get back to work, feel useful, and help your businesses come back to life. So this is a really good way to reward businesses that are able to keep those staff in post. Some other measures around job creation or job retention, a few of them could really, really benefit tourism and hospitality sector, particularly if you're looking to build up a bit of resource, but you're not quite sure about how you'll fund that yet. There's some good stuff in here, so I'll take you through that now. So first of all, there's going to be the Kickstart Scheme. So this is very much aimed at creating jobs and opportunities for people coming out of school, college, university, who are going to be walking into quite a difficult jobs market. So government has pledged to fund thousands of 6-month work placements for 16 to 24-year-olds, and that's a £2 billion fund. Again, a couple of caveats. They must be between 16 and 24, and they must have been claiming universal credit, I believe, at some point in 2020 as a result of not being able to find work because of the current crisis. The funding will cover 100% of national minimum wage. Government will pay their entire wages for 6 months plus the employment on costs. So you shouldn't really actually be saddled with any costs for at least 6 months. And if you want to take them on as a permanent employee after that point, then that's of course balls in your court, and that will be they'll have had a bit of training under their belt, paid for by the government at that time. Again, government are going to publish guidance on this very quickly because we believe this is going to be up and running in the next few weeks. So do keep your eyes out for that. So that's the Kickstart Scheme. Further, there's an £111 million fund for traineeships. This is for England only, again, 16 to 24-year-olds. The government will fund work experience places, and every business that takes on one of these funded places will get a £1,000 payment made to you. So if you take on 3 over the next 6 months, you get £3,000 in the bank. And you'll get a trainee in post and a bit of extra resource. That's really, really worth looking at. Again, one caveat there, that if the traineeship or the course they must be studying alongside the work that they're doing with you must be under level 3 or under qualification. And again, that's guidance is coming on that quite soon because we believe that's going to be up and running really, really quickly. Finally, this is another good one. The apprenticeships, we're going to see a huge thrust on these going forward. We saw just this morning that the government are pulling back slightly from that ambition to have 50% of all young people attending university. Those places are going to either not be there because universities are struggling. Some people will have found that they just want to get into the jobs market. They've seen how difficult things have been for graduates finding jobs. So I think we're going to see a huge thrust forward on apprenticeships from the government. And this could be a really, really hot resource and some extra money in the bank for your sector. So please do look into this. So for every new apprentice you take on under 25 from the 1st of August, you'll be able to claim a £2,000 payment for every single one of those. And we believe that's on top of the £1,000 payment you can already claim from the government for taking on an apprentice. Now this is really going to be powered up very quickly. This is active from the 1st of August. So if you want to look into getting some staff in for the summer season, I'd start looking into this now. The government are going to get guidance out, we believe, this coming week on apprenticeships and to get this £2,000 payment. So again, money in the bank, extra resource. So really encourage you to look into these schemes. So just as an overview, that's the Kickstart Scheme. That's the funded 6-month placements for 16 to 24-year-olds on universal credit. The traineeships, £1,000 payments for everyone that you take, every trainee you take on, and a £2,000 payment for every apprentice you take on under 25. So some good stuff in there. And again, we'll keep you posted on any developments there, but I'm sure the government are going to be really shouting about this because they want this to be a real success. So please do look into those. Now, one of the big headline outcomes from yesterday was the Eat Out to Help Out voucher scheme. So that's that's quite a creative way of incentivising people to get out and about, not only to spend their money, but to instill confidence in people that it is now time to come out and support their local community like they usually would, or to go on holiday, or to continue going to restaurants and pubs. So we weren't expecting to see this, actually, but this is a nice surprise. But again, there's some devil in the detail, which we'll need to take you through here. So this is being called a voucher scheme. The public aren't actually going to be issued with paper physical vouchers that they're going to bring into your establishment and claim 50% off their dining. So essentially, the scheme covers 50% off eat-in meals, capped at £10 per head, Monday to Wednesday for the month of August. Okay, so people won't have a voucher to bring in. What you'll do is you'll simply mark your rate card or your menu at 50% of your usual charge for those 3 days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. For the month of August, you will simply charge half, and then you will claim the money back from the government, and they're pledging to pay that back within a matter of days of application, we believe. So we're hoping to see good things there. So there's a few caveats. Again, must be capped at £10 per person. So family of 4 eating out should be able to claim a maximum discount of £40 off their dining experience. But otherwise, it is unlimited. They could go and have dinner in one place and claim £50 discount, and have tea or elsewhere that day, and again claim that discount. So it's to really incentivise people to get out and spend and get used to being out and about again. Again, it's for eat-in meals only. No takeaways, and it's only non-alcoholic drinks are included in the discount. Alcoholic drinks are not included in this, so you must be really careful about that. So how will you claim that back? So you'll have to register for this scheme very soon. If your establishment, if you serve food for eat-in meals and you want to take part in this, you'll need to register in advance with the government website. We believe that's coming online from Monday. So do keep your eyes out for that. So you'll register and you'll need all of the usual information, your VAT registered, everything like that. You'll need all of your usual information that HMRC asks you for, and just to simply register that you will be claiming money back from them at some point. You will then, whether you choose to do this weekly or at the end of August, to claim everything back, you'll simply log into that system, add in all the information of all the discounted meals that you've served, and you will claim the money back from the government. And they're saying at the moment they're going to pay back within 5 days. Fingers crossed that's the case. But this could be a really big stimulus for the visitor and the hospitality economy. So this could be a really, really big boost. There's some strange caveats in there that it's only Monday to Wednesday, only for the month of August, and it's capped at £10 per head. But there is some good stuff in there. There's a couple of other things to remember as well. We believe anything that's part of a bundled or packaged product. So if you're a B&B and you're running bed and breakfast, the breakfast might not be included in that discount unless you choose to manually separate the two entities, the bed price and the breakfast price, because then if it's the breakfast, right, you can charge that discount up to a cap of £10, claim the difference back, and obviously pass on the difference to your customer to incentivise them to come and stay with you. So again, it's always a little bit of detail in there. There will be full guidance on this published by the end of July, but we do expect that portal to come online from Monday. So do keep an eye out. It's likely to be a HMRC portal. Have all of your information ready. It's likely to look and feel very much like the furlough claim portal that you've been using, but that'll be live from Monday. So please make sure you register, because they're not likely to accept retrospective applications. You'll need to register in advance to claim that money back. So that's a really exciting move here, but do make sure that you're aware of all the caveats. One final thing, and I'm sure you'll see much more detail on this coming out. This is really just headline stuff. There's been a sweeping VAT cut announced for hospitality and attractions and accommodation for 6 months. So it's a 15% cut from 20% down to 5%. That's going to be active really quickly from the 15th of July through to the 12th of January. So it's a full 6 months of discount. Again, it's food and non-alcoholic drinks only in dining, but it is applicable, we believe, to all accommodation and attractions such as cinema tickets, theatre tickets, anything like that. They're going to be eligible for this sweeping VAT cuts. And again, full guidance on this is going to come out by the end of July, so you'll get a lot more information on that going forward. I'm sure you've got a lot more questions than I can answer, seeing as the information's just a day old. But this is a massive scheme to incentivise people to get used to being back out and staying in hotels, going to theatres, going to cinemas, eating in restaurants, and also it's to help you. It's to help your sector to get people back in your establishments, spending money, and hopefully you benefiting from the VAT cuts. So there's some big headline stuff in there. There's a lot to take in, and I'm sure you're really quite tired of having to keep up with all of these various schemes that the government announced, but there's some really, really good stuff in here, particularly for your sector. There's lots of other stuff in there about house building and the Green Deal, but this seems to be the stuff that's relevant to you guys. So I hope that's been helpful. I know Visit Lincoln are doing some really good stuff to keep you updated. I've seen the newsletter that you've had this morning, loads of really good stuff in there. I hope they've filled in a few gaps there. And if there's any questions, I'm sure Samantha will be happy to pass them on to me, and I'll happily get back to you. I think that's it from me, Samantha.
Oh, thanks, Katrina. And yes, definitely. Anybody who wants any advice or wants to contact Katrina directly, drop me a message and I can always do any introduction for you. Does sound lots to take in, and we all appreciate that there's lots of new policies, lots of new things coming out. I think some of these schemes, you'll agree, Katrina, that they, in terms of resource, they are fantastic. Some of the things that are coming on board now to try and help this sector is just it's outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's quite, I'm sure we're all sick of this word as well, unprecedented, but it really is. We've never seen moves like this, multi-billion-pound interventions, and more of them. But since March, we've had several of these interventions. We believe there's going to be more to come as well. We're not done campaigning for more support for all small businesses and self-employed, particularly in your sector, which has been so hard hit as well. So we're going to be asking for more interventions come the autumn when we're seeing the usual budget and autumn statement. But for now, there's some good stuff in here.
Yeah, and everybody just take a look on those portals and see if any of those resources and those, that money in terms of apprenticeships, etc. Just have a look if any of those you can take advantage of them, because as a business, the money is there to be used. So thanks for joining us today. I know everybody's really busy, but yeah, I really appreciate that, Katrina. It's great to have an update for you. Thank you. Thanks.